following program is for training purposes in TV news education. Some copyrighted material is used and is credited on screen. However, no more was taken than was necessary to tell the story of the event. YBA claims fair use of materials.
Sports Sunday live from the Rex Trailer Boomtown studio. I'm TJ Horgan alongside John Hand, Jason Siegel, and Tom Kelly. Today in our first line of business, we have the Boston Red Sox winning against the Toronto Blue Jays in Rogers Centre in Toronto. They won by a marginal score of 13-0. The Red Sox had 15 hits in this game. They moved on to 4-2, that is first in the AL East. John Lester, as the story of this game, he pitched 7 innings, only allowing 5 hits. However, Will Middlebrooks tied the Boston Red Sox record for home runs in one game with 3 home runs. And he went 4 for 5. And in his last at-bat of the game, he had a deep fly ball to the warning track. We thought he was going to break that record. R.A. Dickey moved to 0-2 on the year, and Jackie Bradley Jr., he was 0-4 today. Only 3 hits on the season.
Well, as TJ just mentioned, the opposing pitcher for the Blue Jays, R.A. Dickey, was traded to the Blue Jays from the Mets. And Jason had an interesting take on this trade. Let's take a listen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Siegel for YBA Sports.
I just said take a listen.
In the MLB offseason, the New York Mets traded award winner R.A. Dickey, along with catcher Josh Tolley, to the Toronto Blue Jays for catching prospect Travis d'Arnaud and catcher John Buck. And in the 51 years that the New York Mets have been in existence, this has been the single best trade. R.A. Dickey, in his 2 starts for the Toronto Blue Jays on opening day, home against Cleveland, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, 4 walks, and 4 Ks. Not too bad. A little bit shaky. He's under a lot of pressure. But today against the Red Sox, 4 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned, 2 walks, and 5 Ks. Josh Tolley, not surprisingly, hasn't played with the Toronto Major League organization in AAA Las Vegas, no surprise. As for what the Mets got, John Buck, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and is hitting .421. Travis d'Arnaud, like Josh Tolley, has not been up with the Mets Major League organization, but is expected to be in the majors very soon and could even surpass John Buck for the starting spot, which is pretty surprising considering what Buck has been doing at the plate. And R.A. Dickey, he's a guy who went 20-7 despite having an abdominal strain, and also with a team that averages about 2 runs per game. At least they did last season. But he's 38 years old. He's a knuckleballer, and I think the Mets didn't think he would do anything. And the Mets have a lot of young players: Lucas Duda, Justin Turner, Colin Cowgill, a guy with a grand slam on opening day, Lucas Duda. So this is a team that could do well in the future. And the Blue Jays are a team that also acquired Jose Reyes, a team that wants to do well now. So I think at the time it looked like it would work out for the Blue Jays, although it's not working out yet so far. And for the Mets, it is working out. I'm Jason Siegel for YBA Sports.
Jason, you had sort of an unpopular stance on a pretty controversial, widely known trade. But today's game was the first time John Lester pitched at least 7 innings with 0 earned runs since April 28th of last year. Do you think this is going to be a new trend for the Red Sox, dominant pitching?
Well, definitely with John Lester, I think it's a trend because he's coming back. He's got his guy, John Farrell, there. We know he's a good pitcher. He just didn't pitch well last year. So I would not be surprised to see John Lester succeed this year. The whole rotation, I don't know. But Lester, definitely you will see a he's turning over the leaf. Brand new year, brand new John Lester.
Yeah, and Lester was in some hot water last year because he was involved in the chicken and beer scandal along with John Lackey and Josh Beckett.
Yeah.
So I think last year he was under a lot of pressure and was very nervous and maybe wasn't working as hard as he should have. But this year, John mentioned with John Farrell being back, I think that definitely will help him. It's like he's back in his home place, I think, so it should help him.
Yeah, I think I would like to go off of what John said, that he has John Farrell back as the manager, and that is obviously a huge help, a familiar voice, and I think he'll get it done this year.
See, I agree with Jason on that. I think that John Lester's best year of his career to this point has been when he was with John Farrell last time. And also, John Lester has decreased his velocity the past 3 years. He hasn't been as dominant of a pitcher. I think the Red Sox need to add another pitcher. I don't think they can go through other years with saying that John Lester is their #1 guy. And now our producer Mike is holding up a sign in big letters saying no pitching. So we're going to move on to some young guys. Let's talk a little bit about Jackie Bradley Jr. The Red Sox, they brought him up this year instead of sending him down to AAA. I wasn't in favor of the move. I thought that Jackie Bradley Jr. should have stayed in AAA. What about you?
Yeah, I know you were definitely against it, and right now you're looking like you were right. Because right now he's 3 for 21. He's hitting 143. That's not good. So, I mean, the thing was, my always thing was him coming up. He has to know how to fail. Because at some point, whether it was going to be in this series or the next series, he's going to go through a slump. He's a young kid, major league pitching. He was going to go through a slump. So if he knows how to fail, say, I need to stick to my routine, I need to keep doing what I'm doing, I'll get out of this, I'm talented, then I think he'll be all right. But the big thing is here, we have to watch out for it. With David Ortiz coming back, do they want to keep Johnny Gomes in the DH spot, or do they want to move him back to the outfield? So that could put Bradley back down to AAA if they want to keep Johnny Gomes in the outfield.
You see, I don't think Johnny Gomes is an everyday outfielder by any means. If David Ortiz comes back, Johnny Gomes pretty much cannot hit right-handed pitchers. Sure. He had a 220 average against right-handed pitchers as opposed to a high 200s, around 290 against left-handed pitchers. I think if you put Daniel Nava in right field against right-handed pitchers and have Johnny Gomes only play against left-handed pitchers, of course he could come in if someone needs a rest or somebody's injured. However, I think Jackie Bradley Jr. should be in AAA because his closest MLB experience was AA, where he hit 271. And I look at that, I don't see an MLB-ready guy. What did Jason and Tom think?
Well, I think I like to agree with you that he's not ready. The jump from AA to the majors is a gigantic jump. I mean, I really don't think he's MLB ready, and I think his slow start is all due to nerves.
Well, it is due to nerves, partially I'm sure, but I think also he does need more experience. He's only played 6 games, and in today's MLB, with steroids out of the game, it is the younger guys who are going to have more success, and the Red Sox, I think, want to have some more younger pitchers, which they did by trading Josh Beckett last season, trading Adrian Gonzalez for prospects and younger guys, which I think is a good direction that they should be going, because like what the Mets are doing by trading R.A. Dickey, getting Travis d'Arnaud, catching prospect. So I think you have to keep Jackie Bradley in there, and with the more experience he gets, the better he will get.
See, I think that he needs to get experience in AAA before he can come to the majors. And before he takes up at bats where you have guys like Daniel Nava, who have 3 years experience in the majors, are sitting out because of Jackie Bradley.
Well, General Manager Ben Cherington did say, we view Jackie Bradley Jr. as a big league player. And so I think the Red Sox organization sees this guy as, hey, this guy's pretty good. He can be on our major league club and succeed. Obviously, he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
But I think I'm kind of with Jason on this one. I want to see what he can do. And I know I hate, the baseball should be, there's baseball and then there's PR, but right now with the Red Sox, they're kind of intertwined.
Yep.
And sending Jackie Bradley Jr. back down will not go over well with the fans. So with Larry Lucchino still up there in upper management.
That's true. See, I think you need to give Jackie Bradley Jr. 50 to 75 at-bats. Of course, we saw Albert Pujols slump last year. Personally, I don't think Jackie Bradley is an Albert Pujols, but that's just me. I think you give him 50 at-bats. If he doesn't step it up in 50 at-bats, then you send him back down to AAA. You call somebody, you don't start him this year.
That's fair enough. And that's a healthy sample size to see what he can do. I mean, he did go into Yankee Stadium, one of the biggest stadiums in the league, and get a hit. And he drew 3 walks in his first MLB game, got that run. He did some good things defensively. So there's definitely talent there. Didn't seem to get too nervous. Didn't get to see him too shaken up. But so we'll see what happens. You're right. If 50 at-bats and he's still hitting 143, yeah, he needs to get back down to AAA. But I want to see what this kid can do. I mean, he could provide some life to this Sox. This team is fun to watch, and he's a fun player to watch. It's something to keep your eye on, definitely.
That's true. If you're going from a PR standpoint, like you said, Jackie Bradley's certainly a guy to bring up because he's popular with the fans. Now, Jason, I understand now you have something for Red Sox pitching for us.
Yeah, so we mentioned John Lester in his first start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 2 walked, and 7 strikeouts. Clay Buchholz, a guy who was injured for much of last season, really struggled. His first start at Yankee Stadium, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Ryan Dempster in his first start, also at Yankee Stadium, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, 4 walks, and 8 Ks. Felix Doubront, first start at the Rogers Center in Toronto, 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 earned, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. And John Lackey in his first start, which was ended early due to a strained right bicep, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. So we got a chance to see all the pitchers once and Lester twice. Who impressed you guys the most?
Personally, Lester. It's definitely got to be Lester. You show that he has that no earned run start that he had today, and he is the #1 guy with the Red Sox. Ryan Dempster was a little bit iffy bringing in. Personally, I thought he was better than John Lester, but John Lester's history with John Farrell in the Red Sox, I don't think he'll get better. I think he won't have a career year, but he will stay around the same as he has been, which has been declining.
I'm with you with Lester on this one because coming into this year, no one thought he was the ace. Everyone was like, is he going to be our ace? Is he our #2? Maybe even a #3, probably not #3, but #1, #2, you don't know. He's been proving through these 2 games, not a healthy sample size, but a sample size, that he can be that ace, he can be that dominant pitcher, and he's been doing well. And today he looked absolutely fabulous.
See, that's where I disagree with you. I don't think John Lester can be the Red Sox ace for years to come. I think they need to pick up somebody who is an ace. I think every team needs an ace pitcher, and the Red Sox don't have that. I don't know how long the Red Sox organization will go saying, John Lester is our ace. John Lester is our ace. John Lester is not the Boston Red Sox ace. He is not an ace pitcher. He's a solid #2 pitcher, but his performance is on the decline as of now.
I'll agree with you that he's not your hard-balling, top-of-the-rotation guy, but right now, with what they have, he is an ace, and the way he's pitching, I think he can be the ace for this team right now. Down the road, and if there's someone better out there to be that ace, maybe not, but right now, I think he is your ace, and he's been pitching like it.
I think Ryan Dempster certainly needs to step up because he is an ace. When he was in Chicago, he was an ace with Matt Garza's injury problems. What do you think, Jason and Tom?
Well, I liked Clay Buchholz. This was another pitcher who struggled with injuries last year, and he went 7 solid innings. Of course, this is against the Yankees, they, of course, won the AL East title last year, but pretty much everybody who started last year is either injured or has retired this year, except... but I like Buchholz, 6 hits, giving up only 1 run. 2 walks is not too bad. He was finding the strike zone, and he had 4 strikeouts. What do you think, Tom?
You know how I hate to be a part of the agreeing party, but I'm going to have to say John Lester. How his numbers have declined over the past few years and what he's able to do, especially today with 7 Ks, 7 shutout innings, has been pretty good, to say the least.
Yeah, and the Red Sox are playing the Baltimore Orioles. They start tomorrow at home. The Orioles have Chris Davis, who's hitting .556, and a lot of other young upstart hitters, including Nick Markakis. How do you think Red Sox pitchers will fare against them? I believe it'll be Buchholz, Dempster, and Doubront pitching for the Red Sox in that series.